Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
This is So I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race, Season 16, Episode 10, Werq the World. Sure.
Yeah.
They sing a song about voting. I don't remember. Power. I was going to be like, I don't remember the song. I think it's one of the, like...
Also, it was about voting.
Yeah, it wasn't... this was a fine episode. It wasn't my favorite. I appreciate all of the sentiment. And actually, if I'm giving credit, I want to give them credit for bumping it up a notch with the voting message. Yeah. Because it feels like
we weren't serious enough last time.
we weren't.
We weren't serious enough 8 years ago, and it was a real problem.
Hell, 4 years ago, too. I mean, it feels like every season they have the vote.org. Yeah. And each year it's now more than ever. And yet, somehow, now more than ever, it is necessary. So, yeah,
register
I agree.
To vote. Please register to vote.
I agree, but I'm also so, like, tired of hearing about it. I'm like,
I feel like all I've been doing is voting for the last 12 years. All I do is vote.
And yet we need more.
It's not too late to register. You should register to vote. Also, please, it's not viable to vote third party. Don't do it.
So it was the pretty usual business as usual behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Except for I there's a lot of like wig swapping and stuff happening that we hear about after the fact. And I'm like, where's this footage? Because this wig of Jane's has been down the runway more times than...
3 times at least.
It's rivaling Ru. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. But no, it was
also,
kind of...
technically, though, only Plasma has gotten a note that a black wig parted down the middle only always gives share.
Well, when she...
No, I agree.
What she was wearing was giving very little, but what it was giving was share.
No, it was, for sure. I do want to put it out there.
It worked so much better on Morphe in this episode.
100%, and it did. And also, Plain Jane was share when she wore it. I do want to say, to jump back to last week a little bit, I in no way think that Plasma's outfit was good, nor do I think she won the lip sync. I feel like that's important. I don't think she won I think Mhi'ya won the lip sync.
Well, so I thought it was a little bit sloppy.
I just think Plasma's track record was better.
So the lip syncs are something that are a little bit...
I feel it's a very nebulous thing because I do still think that regardless of the fact that, yes, Mhi'ya won, I do think the lip syncs are an excuse for it to just be at the whims of RuPaul.
But that's also part of what I like about the show in a way that a lot of people get really upset. Yeah.
Sometimes.
But I
think if Plasma had done a little better in the lip sync, Mhi'ya would have gone home last week.
Yeah. Well, and that... me not being blown away by Mhi'ya's performance was not to diminish her talents in any stretch. I mean,
she's talented.
Absolutely performed it the most, but I was sort of put off by I didn't like the TikTokification of the song.
Sure.
And it just
that was
sort
just
of...
like the version of the song, right?
Yeah, it was like that sped up chipmunk thing. And it's just based on... like, I've talked about how, because I am watching the show, out of order for... and I have actually reasons for why I'm doing it that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like taking off your shoes is a cardinal sin, except for when it's not. And I don't mind that, like, freedom for it's like, because sometimes if you're feeling the spirit, you're feeling the spirit. But it just sort of, I felt like it felt a little bit like the same tricks.
Sure.
Even if they were extremely well done.
Yeah.
Regardless, that's
neither here.
Like I said, that none of that was meant to diminish Mhi'ya, because that is a very real, very original tenet of drag, is that lip sync and the lip sync for your life. I mean, if Plasma didn't apparently, regardless of how many wins you have, if you wind up in the bottom and someone lip syncs better than you, that's the way that the game.
I was unaware of that rule as well. I already don't remember what we were talking about. I drank scotch tonight, you guys.
We both can't be drinking.
We can't both drink. Oh, we were talking about the song.
Yeah, I was going to say, back to the challenge. This is always kind of one of my least favorite challenges. It's your least favorite because you find it embarrassing. You relate too much to the struggle.
It's so cringy watching them have to, first of all, write in front of each other. I could never be me. I get angry at my husband if he's in the room when I'm working out. I'm like, please stop observing me. Like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm not a spectator sport.
This is not for spectating. So they have to write in front of each other. Then they have to record in front of each other, and some of these bitches can't sing. Was awful.
They also did. Was she the one that was like, ah!
Yeah.
I mean, she gave it, but
she did.
They
have to learn choreo in front of each other.
But they also didn't do the usual auto-tune trickery that they do sometimes. It was actually presented very well. Sure, of course they did, but the vocals were not as processed as they have been in the past.
Sometimes they blow that out.
It was presented very straightforwardly. And so it also just like the song wasn't connecting with me. I was having a slightly hard time following the lyrics.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing just sort of unfurled in front of us on the stage. And in a way, there was like fake trumpets and dancers.
No,
and
I was like, look, that's not pit crew, but like those dancers were really like, they were doing their space work and their prop work with those trumpets. But the other thing too, which makes me slightly uncomfy, is that they have to put a lot of mustard on their deliveries of this stuff, but we're not hearing the backing music. So it's just
while they're recording.
So it's just half this like skinniest white dudes putting a lot of funk mustard on these lines.
And they kept using the word funk.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. But then we got to it. I was like, oh, literally. This is
funk.
Literally a funk thing.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, actually, considering that we've been a little bit hard on Mhi'ya, I thought this was a really good showing from her.
She did really good.
I think the only one that I think actually bodied this was Saphira. Yeah. I think she nailed it top to bottom.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree. And but the thing too, to go back to it's funk music. Because I was like, but why is it funk music? Why is this a funk song?
I mean, I don't think I wanted like John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt, but it's like I wanted something that felt. I was anticipating something that was a bit more like
patriotic.
Americana.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, also like just the fact that it wasn't just like pop music. But again, I like funk music. I think it's great. But like, what purpose did it serve in this specific the voting arena?
It was a very odd episode around.
It was a little bizarre.
So Jamal Sims was the guest. Always welcome. Basements stay flooded.
So hot.
He knows it. They know it. We know it.
I love too the like suit jacket without a shirt underneath.
And
it's so purple, and then he had two little bee brooches.
This was a good night for the color purple. Like,
don't get me started.
There was a lot of whatever that indigo, and I mean that can go into the runways, but very interesting look from Ru.
Yeah.
The exact thing I said on our watch along is I don't like it, but I think I love it.
So
I like that it was different.
Yeah. I love the dress. And I even like the wig with it. The only thing that I had an issue with was I didn't like the big blue flower. That was the only thing that I felt it didn't go. That's like the Chanel thing. Like, that's the thing you should have taken off.
But yet, when she was sitting there and they would cut to her, I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like in my mind, I erased the flower.
Oh, okay. No, I think Ru can... It's very much it's kind of like Sofia Vergara at award shows where it's like she's so beautiful and she knows what works for her, so you can get into a slight kind of like, we've seen this look before, like it's like, well, yes, it's beautiful, but what else is it? And I like, because like I think I said last week that every season there's like 2 or 3 looks where Ru does something that is like not out of pocket, but it's at least something different.
Like that really, really artsy, schmartsy one from last season, where it was like
plaid-y.
No, it was
the one that looked like Maddie Morphosis.
No.
Oh, I kind of loved that one.
It was really artsy, not like crafty. like high art, like a high art thing.
Okay, well.
Yeah. I can't write, but it was like almost like a modern art, like mixed media, like painting-y kind of thing.
I think we're talking about this.
We're not talking about the same thing. I'll find it.
Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything.
You want to get to the runway?
Well, I was trying to think if there was anything in the bulk of the episode. I feel stronger about Morphine. Morphine's one of the ones that I've had a hard time connecting with, is the phrasing I've been using, where there was just something slightly removed. And I don't know if maybe there were too many queens, but she got some screen time this episode. Yeah. And even just like, I loved the little look like was wearing in the workroom. Yeah. With like the bell bottoms. Well, you literally
were like, I went to high school with that girl. Person. Yeah.
And even Plain Jane seems like she's either she's softened or production isn't, you know, they're showcasing more of her like normal in between, like,
yeah, I mean, until the end.
Yeah, she's prickly.
That was not prickly. That was weird. Whatever that was weird.
I guess Dawn had the in Untucked with her boyfriend, but did somebody have a tragic backstory moment? Well, then, yeah, we can go
tragic?
Right in.
No.
You know, they're like, I was bullied when I was younger.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, we can go into Runway.
Alrighty. True colors. And Mhi'ya's first.
And I will say, because we've also been a little critical with Mhi'ya, this is one of the best that she's looked.
It's beautiful.
The proportionizing feels more on point.
Sure.
Especially with the wig and her silhouette. She wore a similar red look 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I think this is more successful than that one. Mm-hmm. That previous one, a lot of it sort of like blended together. It sort of was like a blur. And I think maybe with like the appliques or the sheer components.
I think it's the sheer cutouts a little, yeah.
It spreads it out more. And the tail feathers. I loved that too.
It's very funny.
This was a good showing. This was a good showing for Mhi'ya. And frankly, even in spite of her Oompa Loompa wig, Michelle, even her funk look and her funk presentation. This was a good week. Good showing for Mhi'ya.
I think one critique I wanted to give the whole funk performance, nobody coordinated their looks. Like, not even a little bit. Not even like the barest hint of a through line.
There wasn't a sense of cohesion.
Not at all.
From a single corner.
Which, like, if that wasn't in the brief, then fine, whatever. But, like, it threw me a little. I can't lie.
It did give me a slight, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
That was Mhi'ya. This is Nymphia.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I don't know how this bitch can do a yellow banana theme so many times, and each time it's like the first time I'm seeing it. I said to you in our watch along, she makes me wonder if I've ever seen a banana before in my life.
She's doing so amazing, and like, because this is maybe the fourth or fifth banana look we've seen from her. They are all different. They are all exquisite. They're all like sort of avant-garde and funny and cheeky and
she's
campy.
Finding different, because this is very, very much a Josephine Baker, a like vaudevillian,
and the Chiquita Banana lady,
like a combination of the two, and the ways that, you know, because bananas are yellow, yes, but as we've seen from her, they are also brown and green and orange, and there's just such a richness and such a depth to everything that she presents on the runway. And she has such a sense of humor. It's very
fun.
Yeah, because I started to say she has a wicked sense of humor, and she doesn't. She has I think if anything, she has a very sweet sense of humor, but with a slight wicked bite. Yeah. Or like an unripe banana almost. Whoa. I don't know. I'm blown away. And again, I think that's bold. I think that's bold to say, you know, the thing that I've done again and again and again, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, agreed.
But you got to be good if you're going to do that.
I agree.
This was very beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
And it's very I think it leaves a slight something to be desired.
So, okay. This is Plain Jane. This is actually a perfect way to address a comment that we got last week. Because I agree with the comment, which is that Sapphira has the best grasp on her drag character of all of these people.
Well, and I would say from an all-encompassing, I think she's the most well-rounded.
Again, character. The rest of these queens have less of a character. So I fully agree with that, and that goes into my critique of Plain Jane's outfit here, because it's happened a couple of times where I'm like,
who is this in conjunction with your other?
Yeah, who is Plain Jane? I don't understand. And it's I'm going to say something kind of sideways that I don't totally mean, but it's where's Jan or Tina Burner, where it's I get your thing. Or Marsha. I get your thing. I get your character. You have a character. Uh-huh. We don't have a lot of that here.
Or Nymphia Wind.
Well, shit, but the bananas and the yellow. But again, that's not really a character.
No, that's not a character. That's a gimmick or an aesthetic.
Yeah, it's I'd give that to Sapphira and Dawn this season, is that they feel very locked in to who and what they are in a way that I'm yes, this is a beautiful gown. But who is this in regard to what you were before?
Well, yeah. I actually agree. Or not actually. That sounds like it's surprising, but I agree with that, because it's she's very competent and she's very good.
Yeah.
But I think it's maybe lacking a point of view.
Sure.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a handful of places that she hovers. Uh-huh. The Russian hooker being probably the most.
And so, in that sense, I do appreciate that she's not...
that she's willing to step out of that.
Cribbing Katya constantly all the time. But it is also that is a built-in character.
Because didn't she throw down a Mother Earth? Did she make that reference?
She said, my body's been carved by Aphrodite. And I was calm down.
Aphrodite doesn't do the carving.
He's back. Yeah.
That's Pygmalion. Aphrodite is the carvee.
Come on.
But it was good. Yeah. It was good. I think that there's something more that could be.
Sure. All right, Sapphira, I mean, this is stunning.
This was stunning. This is so gorgeous.
It's absolutely beautiful. The color looks amazing. They said Bridgerton. Yeah.
Yeah.
She says Bridgerton too. Because she says Queen Charlotte.
The blue and gold.
Yeah.
Rue joked, Eveline, this is giving me a little bit more Ada Pearl from The Wiz.
Yeah.
Because there's Eveline. I mean, it has the Eveline has a very large silhouette presence, but Sapphira doesn't give even. She's Glinda. Yeah. She's Ada Pearl. She's there's a benevolence to her, and because if anything, this is giving me that drag, that All Stars 7 when the queen looks when they all came out, and those stunning queen looks.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely beautiful.
And the wig, she didn't lose it lip syncing. The dress came off, and also hilariously, she was wearing Morphine's hat on top of the Marge hair in Untucked. Also that, because I just said it, and a similar, Charissa just did a Marge Simpson look on UK versus the World too, and I think it's very bold to wear a Marge Simpson bouffant and not have it register
immediately.
And not have to be when did Marge Simpson?
I also will say she absolutely did the best job in the funk song. I hate it.
Okay, this is a very well executed look. Yeah. I think it's hideous. I hate it so much.
It hurts my feelings.
I think it's so ugly.
Have you seen that interview? It's like a Barbie interview with Ryan Gosling and Margot Robbie, and they've got one of those spinny things that's like this kind of. It's like metallic-y, but it's like a perpetual motion machine, and you spin it like this, and it.
Can I be honest? Is this a safe place?
Yeah.
I don't like this thing at all.
Why?
I don't like the look of it.
What?
I don't I don't like that you're showing it to me. It looks like the last thing you see before you die. It's like that's happening and then you're...
They're like both...
Like a top or like a spinner.
Sort of, but it's up. Like, yeah. And so they're both doing it together and he just goes, can I be honest? Is this a safe space? And he goes, I hate this thing. And he's just like, they're like, why? And he goes, I don't like the look of it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I feel like it's the last thing you see before you die. It's really funny. And that's how I was feeling the whole time.
Again, very well executed. Yeah. Very valid perspective. It's just a perspective that I want over there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because I was like, she looks like a glowworm, but like haunted, maybe. I don't know.
It's not my favorite thing.
Mm-hmm. She's also behaving like a cryptid, which again, is in brand.
Yeah. Okay.
This baffles me.
Yeah, again, because how does this relate to the rest of your looks?
Well, and I don't want anyone to think that when we make that comment that's saying don't be versatile. What I am saying is I don't get it. No. I don't get this.
Okay, but the versatility has to work within your character.
Okay, well, I love the hat.
Yeah, the hat slaps.
The hat alone prevents it from being a boot for me. I don't get... It's Joanne. This is very Lady Gaga Joanne.
Okay.
I don't understand the arm chaps.
Yeah.
I don't understand the furls on the pants. I mean, I guess the pants alone, I don't know. I don't like...
And the top is, like, as they said, not very flattering.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's an accomplishment because she is so beautiful and I don't know.
But it's
the
purple.
The color's lovely.
It's lavender purple.
And
so
I like the wig. I mean, I guess I'm being hard because it's Q and we're at that point in the competition.
That's the other thing. Yeah, it's not to the caliber that I've come to expect from her runway looks.
But in our watch along when she came out, I was mostly just silent.
Yeah.
And that's because I was like, ugh. This is beautiful. This is beautiful.
Yeah. Morphine. It's morphine.
This is morphine, yeah.
The dark purple, the sheer legs until the feathers at the bottom, the like capey kind of thing. The hat is... I normally would not care for a hat like that, but it really suits.
I was going to say the hat.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, I guess the look is just funky enough.
Yeah.
That like I feel like this hat, I guess it would need a top hat part. What were those hats from like Spencer's Gifts? Or
sure.
Like a 1990s rave hat.
Sort of like a Seuss hat.
Yeah, it almost gives that. But like I said earlier, considering that Morphine's one that I had a hard time connecting with or a hard time getting, what exactly her thing is, I'm getting this.
It's great.
And I think it's funny because, I mean, we did have the Cher runway on this season.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there's a slight Cher ghost looming over the entire
whole
season.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. That's not a thing.
Yeah. I also really love the stripes on the like capey sleeve part. It's like striped a little. I really dig it.
Well, it's similar to what we were saying with Mhi'ya's look earlier, where this is a look that would be easy to feel like it's one note.
Sure.
But the body, the gradient shading on the bodysuit, the different textures, the different like elements of it keep it from looking all one thing.
Yeah.
I liked this. I liked this a lot.
It's pretty, and it's the best color purple.
Oh, that's just it.
Yeah.
So the potion thing, Plain gave it to Mhi'ya, which shocked me. I'm shocked. And it's also especially shocking because we wonder, I don't know, no one went home. They picked Saphira, who was the obvious top, and then Morphine. I have no problem with Morphine getting that accolade that distinction, but the Saphira won.
No, 100%.
But the fact that there wasn't a bottom makes me wonder what, because the implication is that, well, Plain Jane would have been in the bottom. And it makes me wonder if the potion thing got if they lost.
If they got away from
If it got away from them. If they had plans for how they were going to go for it.
Sure.
But then when Saphira drank hers and then Plane didn't use hers the way she was supposed to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It does feel like there's an element that did not mesh. It feels like there's something. I'm curious to know if there's a behind the scenes tidbit as to why this went down this way.
Sure, I agree, because I think it's kind of weird too. And then also, are we looking at a double elimination later, or like?
I mean, probably.
Or are we just gonna like in 3 weeks or whatever, just pick a top 4 from however many are left?
A top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5
or however many.
Remember that one season of So You Think You Can Dance where there was a top 6 and it was an hour-long finale, and we were like, what are we doing?
What is this? What is happening?
So the potion thing, I can see how it would be a good idea. I think it's similar to the chocolate, where it's like I can see how that was a good gimmick, but I don't know if, when all was said and done, if it served the purpose it was meant to serve.
Sure.
Because I kind of feel like they put it in there, especially with the caveat that you could give it to someone. I kind of feel like they introduced it to create drama between the contestants.
Yeah.
And this was a season that wasn't lacking for that.
I agree.
So it was sort of gilding the lily, or it became an afterthought.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it. And I also, on that note, I do wonder, are we done?
With the immunity potions?
With the potions and the ranking a queen. Are we going to go back to that?
Or now,
yeah, I'm curious if Ru has another trick up that never-ending sleeve.
Yeah. It's a fair question.
So that was that episode. It was fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
That next week.